Alrighty, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to what are we listening to? Oh, the Daily Roundup webinar. Hope everybody's having a great trading session. Wow, been some pretty big moves today. Give me 1 second here, just a minute, okay? Sorry, just doing a couple things. Just give me a second. Yeah, so it's there's some pretty big moves. Obviously we're keeping an eye on the Aussie. We have this this double top. So I want you guys to think about this double top that's happening. Double top, failed breakout, breach of support. So now, if you think about like in Asia, going into Asian trade, what we're going to look for is maybe some moves like this, back up above 69 for an eventual move down to the trend line and even lower. That's what I'd be on the lookout for. Now, will we get that? It's hard to say. This market's obviously come under a lot of pressure here, but we could see some sort of bounce, at least for now. And and that's probably going to be same with equities too. If you look at whoa, hold on 1 second. I had to run really quick to go to the grocery store, because Arizona, if you're not aware, Arizona has we're seeing some pretty high death rates and infection rates for COVID. So I'm trying to get there around busy hours. So that's why I was out for just a couple hours. But so I hadn't even looked at the S&P yet. But notice what we're doing. We're breaching this channel support. Whether it's a channel or not, or you could argue with me and say, well, Blake, isn't it more like a wedge? Wedge. Isn't it more like a wedge? Is it more like a wedge? Okay. Like I said, you can, it's really what's most important about this wedge or channel or whatever you want to call it is we're breaking through trendline support. Now, we're bouncing, but what's going to be really important for today, let's put this at, this is around 3,100. It's at 30.95. Okay. Roughly 30.90. So we could quite possibly bounce like 10 or 15 points here. But if we close the day below, let's just say 30.90, which I'm good. Let's just argue, or let's just for argument's sake, let's just say we close below it, then that's going to be a pretty bearish event. I think if we close here or lower, it's bearish. If we close back above 3,100, I don't know if I'd really want to be short risk, right? Because then it'd be a false breakdown and, stopped everybody out, and then we're bouncing and, life is good again. So just keep an eye on equities. I think this is a kind of a, very touchy area. I want to talk about the US dollar Mexican peso, because this one, I mean, God, look at that gravestone doji. That was on a 4-hour, did absolutely nothing, just got ripped. I thought that's when we were looking at that gravestone doji, the next candle was working, but it didn't look like that. I mean, we were looking at this gravestone doji here, and then the next candle was just kind of small. But yeah, if you tried to fade that, I was hoping we would dip down to 22 for possible longs, but that's just not the case right now. The move that we're seeing here is obviously a squeeze, but it's going to squeeze probably back up to the 22.85 eventually. That's the breakdown point. So and you can see it's pretty important. So if you're going to buy risk, like let's say you want to buy stocks, I know some of you might be playing a little bit of a bounce right now, but if you want to buy stocks, I would probably wait till to see what the US dollar Mexican peso is doing right at these levels. If the US dollar Mexican peso is like ripping back above this previous support and it's just flying, I wouldn't be buying risk, I just wouldn't. I can look at the chat room right now at the same time, and she said the Euro Aussie is at its 200-day moving average. These are a couple currency pairs that we've been, we obviously pay a lot of attention to in the chat rooms. We might be at the 200-day moving average. Probably more importantly is we're at channel resistance and breakdown point. So let's go to the 200-day moving average, and we are, whoops. We're at the 200-day moving average. We're at channel resistance. We're at the breakdown point. So this is going to be really important for the Euro Aussie. What happens here? I would say if we break above 166, that means the squeeze is going to continue. Euro New Zealand, we are at the breakdown point basically, which is at 176 and change. So these are really, really important levels for the market. Just in general. So can they continue? You bet. How aggressive will they be from here? Well, I think this is a very big inflection point for the market at this stage of the game. And you can see that the pivots here, whether it's the Euro New Zealand, Euro Aussie, I mean, we're stalling here right as the S&P is basically on that trend line, roughly, right? Or actually slightly below. So, you have to be obviously a little bit more cautious and careful at current levels. Okay, let's see what else I wanted to cover really quick. The Euro strong as of right now. I believe the Euro is strong because you're seeing a lot of these cross rates like the Euro Aussie, Euro New Zealand that are stronger, Euro Canadian. You got even the Euro Pound. Euro Sterling tends to go up during periods of risk aversion. I know there's been some news regarding Brexit and meeting that's going to happen between Boris Johnson and the European Commission. And so, does the pound bounce? Well, if it's going to bounce, it's probably going to bounce soon. Meaning, if you look at the Euro Pound, it's probably going to find some footing soon. But who knows? I mean, the cable is acting a lot like the Aussie or the Kiwi as well. So that's something else to think about. We talked about the S&P. Let's take a really quick look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has been very strong, and it's outperformed the rest of the market. And you notice right here, we're at, let me remove, let me put this here, and let me take that. Yeah. Okay, so we're basically at the breakout point with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is obviously outperforming the other indices. I would be really careful with NASDAQ longs if we come breaking through 9,700, 9,650, somewhere down here, because then that's going to end up being a false breakout. Especially if you go to the weekly charts, you got this big breakout, a big reversal candle. That's not going to look good. So just think about that as we head into tomorrow. Okay. Because obviously tomorrow's Friday. A couple other, I guess we should really quick just go. Here's the Aussie yen. The head and shoulder pattern is still working. So now, any type of short covering that you see here back above 74 yen, probably like 74.10, 74.20. This is going to be a good area to be on the short side if you can. Good risk reward to be short up there if you can get it. And let me see a couple quick comments. Dominic says, feels like it's FaceTime, not Roundup, fast day. Yeah, I know, it's been a quick day, huh? Rick said, I changed my reminder on the morning edge. That's funny. All right. Dimitri says, hey, Blake, Euro Swiss at the 618. Let's take a look. Euro Swiss. And Jason, I'm going to answer your question, then we'll talk about that. Okay, so here's the Euro Swiss 618. Yeah, I guess if it's going to bounce, this would be it, right? Close. I mean, yeah, look, this is a breakout point too. So, being short risk right now, you got to be kind of careful, I think. This is a level where things could potentially bounce. So, and you know, the Euro Swiss, if the stock market proves to be a false breakdown, you got to be, I think the Euro Swiss is a great pickup. Jason, Jason asked really quick about the dollar Canadian. Dollar Canadian is probably just enough to squeeze all of them shorts out, right? Just about. But I love a lot. So many people in the chat room were picking this up yesterday and today. So let's see here. False breakdown, you know. So the 38% retracement, let me just 38% retracement comes in at basically 136. So just be careful with it if you're on the long side. And you know, maybe if you're like, well, I want to short it as we, you know, get towards that 176 level, or 136. I'm sorry. Just keep your stops tight if you're going to fade it. I know, you know, a lot of the chat room this morning was trying to fade it at 135, and you know, just you know, it just continued to squeeze. And then also wanted to ask about the Kiwi. So the Kiwi double top trying to play out. So this is like the Aussie. I would be looking at the Kiwi and the Aussie very similarly. As long as we close below these necklines. So in this case, it's 64.70. You know, so as long as we close below that, it's bearish. Aussie, as long as we close below 69 cents, we're bearish. No reason to be bullish these pairs. You just have to be careful with them. If you are already short and you're like, oh, what do I do here? I mean, the 127% extension is not too far away. So then you just look for, you know, if you're short, I think it, you know, makes sense to keep some short exposure as long as you stay below here. But, you know, there's nothing ever wrong with taking a little bit of profits, you know, along the way. So anyway, I hope that helps. And guys, if you are not in the chat room, which, by the way, here's the guys and gals in the chat room if you want to see everybody here. This is everybody in the chat room, and you know, obviously talking and posting charts and, you know, different things like what Amanda was talking about earlier. And you know, if you guys are not in here, then you're not part of the ForexAnalytix community. So make sure you get involved. It's only $1 for 10 days. For those of you that support us and are listening live, thanks for listening in. Remember, I will not be here tomorrow because we don't do the daily roundup tomorrow. So wait, is today Thursday? Yeah, today is Thursday. Okay, so tomorrow we won't. Have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow on the FACE webinar. Thanks everybody for being here. Talk to you later.